Hey there, I am going to do a brief tutorial about how to make a GeoGebra workbook. So this is really handy when you want to just give your students a link to GeoGebra Online and have something there for them to work on without having to download it, worry about what version they're opening it in, and all the issues we've had in class. You want to just give them a link and have them be able to go. So the one I'm going to have you do today is going to be a series of pre-constructed sketches, but you could also just give them a blank one just to keep that in mind if that's something you'd like to do. But today we talked about in-center, circumcenter, and centroid. And you were constructing some pre-constructed sketches that you wanted your students to be able to explore. So I'm just going to put a triangle on here. That's all I'm doing. And then you did other stuff with it. You labeled it, etc. And then this is what you wanted to, one of the pages that you want in your workbook. So workbook is going to be just like Desmos, where you have just one page at a time and you turn the page. So the first thing you need to do is whatever you made in Classic 6, and I have you use Classic 6 to actually make things just because you have more tools there. But then to save it for your students, the first thing you're going to want to do is download it. And you're going to download it as a GGB file. Give it a name that you'll recognize, because when you upload it later, it's going to have that name. And you're just going to save it. So this is just my triangle test. I'm going to say, because I didn't actually do anything on here. And it'll ask me where I want to save it. I'm saving it in this folder. We're good to go. So it's there. Now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go to, I don't need it anymore because I saved it. You're going to go to GeoGebra, and as long as you're signed in, it'll take you to your own page. So this is my page, A.W. McCullough, over here. There's all sorts of things I've uploaded in the past. And you'll notice that I have a centroid and an in-center here that I've already uploaded. And I'm going to show you now how I bring in my circumcenter, and then we're going to make a book of these three. Okay. So to add this is called a worksheet. To add a new worksheet in here, I go to New. And I could create one right in here, but I already did it offline, so I'm going to upload. So just need to find that file. And I think circumcenter is the one that's not in there yet. Lost track. Hopefully that's correct. And it uploads. There it is. So from here, I need to do some, this is circumcenter. This will be the title at the top of the page. And edit is what I want to do next. So in this edit, you could give, if you want to, you can give instructions, like type instructions for what you want them to do right there. Down here at the bottom, says it's very large, so you might want to do something smaller. So if you know that your students are going to be working off of maybe an iPhone or a small iPad or something, you might want to change that. I'm going to leave this the same size for us today since we're all working on laptops. I'm going to go into advanced settings. This is where you get to make your choices for what you want your students to see. I'm going to say preserve aspect ratio so that as I make things bigger and smaller, it keeps everything intact. I don't get like a long, narrow window. I want them to be able to right click because I want them to be able to drag things around and label them if they want to, measure things, all that kind of stuff. Do I want them to be able to drag the labels? That's up to you. In this situation, I'm going to say yes in case like the word circumcenter is in their way. I want to be able to move it. Show icon to reset. Yes, that's that little circle that ends up in the upper right corner of the construction, so that if they've messed it up so much they want to get it back to something normal, they can do that. Pan and zoom is the being able to zoom in and zoom out really quickly. Show menu and toolbar, that's if you want them to be able to do something on there. So if you want them to be able to construct or change color or measure, anything where they're adding to the sketch, they need to have these things. The input bar is if you want them to be able to like type in an equation or something, which for this situation they don't need. So I don't need that. Style bar is if I want to let them be able to change color on things. And since I'm going to ask students to explore, they might want to like mark things in a certain color and stuff. So once I'm done with that, I say done. Here is, I'm going to do save and close. So everything's been saved. So you'll see here I've got a circumcenter, a centroid, and an in-center. And I really like to put those all in a book together. Okay. So now I'm going to click New, and I'm going to say Create a Book. My title for my book is going to be Exploring Triangle Centers, or whatever you want that to be. The language, if you want to give a description for your book or what this is, you could type it in there. Age group, I don't know. This is for kind of cataloging purposes. I have this. Keywords to describe the material to help with searching. So I can do geometry, triangles, centers, whatever things, centroid, in-center, and circumcenter. So whatever keywords that you can think of to include there. Do you want it to be public so others can find it, or do you want to just be able to give it to people with a link? It's up to you. Private means nobody can see it. Shared with link means you could give that to anybody. Public, again, means anybody searching for something related to centers has access to it. So if it's something that's pretty good that, it's because people share things, it saves you time. So remember, somebody else might have already done one of these out there. Whenever you're looking for something for your class, first look and see if somebody else did it before starting all over yourself. I'm going to go ahead and make this one public. Save. Let's just kind of set it up. And now it doesn't have anything in it yet. So I'm going to add worksheets. So it has all of my stuff in here. So I'm going to do centroid. There's mine. I'm going to add that. And I'm going to add another worksheet. In center. There it is. I'm going to add that. And then I'm going to add one more, which is circumcenter. And there it is. Apparently you can see I did some of those another time too. Now we can view the book. Let's see what it looks like. So this is what it looks like for the students. As I didn't type in any instructions at all. On centroid, notice when I click on this, you can drag. If you want to start measuring things, all your tools are there. And all you have to do is give the students the link to the book. Up here at the top, that's page 1. This changes it to page 2. This changes it to page 3. So I kept it really, really simple because I probably am on a separate sheet of paper going to give instructions of what I'd like students to do. And it might simply be go to the centroid page. Explore. What do you notice? Measure things. Look for invariants. Tell us what you notice here, and then after you've noticed some things, make some conjectures. So it might have something very wide open like that to help guide our discussion later on. So anyway, that is how you make a GeoGebra book, and you are going to be creating one just like this for your homework.